Have you ever watched someone on stage and felt they're not really there? Well, that was James Hetfield in early Metallica years. He was loud and full of rage. But a few weeks ago, I saw a totally different man. He was grounded and present. And it hit me. Emotional eating is the exact same kind of performance. It's just food instead of guitars. Well, this episode, it's not about rock and roll, and you don't even have to be a Metallica fan. You could totally hate Metallica because this episode isn't about music. Actually about you. It's about the mask that you wear in your everyday life performance and how food becomes the encore when you can't find your voice. So let's get into it. Virginia Tech has had this tradition now like 25 years. They play Enter Sandman by Metallica as the walkout song for the Hokies football team. Well, back in the day, the way that it got started, there was one game and it was really cold. So the band just started jumping up and down to stay warm as they were playing the song. And then it became this whole thing. So now they play Enter Sandman by Metallica. You've got 66,000 fans in Lane Stadium just jumping up and down in the stand. And then the football team runs out into the field and the crowd's going crazy and the fireworks go off. And it is just a whole thing. Like, this has been called college football's greatest entrance. And I'm going to leave a link to their football walkout video in the show notes. So if you want to check it out, I've got it linked up on YouTube. It's actually kind of cool. So fast forward to a few weeks ago, Metallica played at Virginia Tech at that same exact stadium. So you can only imagine how amped up the crowd was in the stadium. So Metallica, what happened? Metallica played the entire concert. And you know the song the crowd is waiting for, like their anthem, they're waiting for it. Well, guess what song Metallica didn't play? So the band did this whole like fake out thing where they're leaving and they're like, thank you. James Hetfield, who's the lead singer, he was basically like, good night. And he kept saying good night. And then they decided to play Enter Sandman as the encore. I mean, obviously the whole thing was I'm sure scripted out. But knowing what I just told you, how this is their song. This is the Hokie song. This is their anthem. Can you only imagine how absolutely insane the crowd went? I mean, it was electric. And this is why the videos went viral, because it registered on the seismograph. That's how electric this was. That's how crazy the crowd was. So I end up watching a bunch of clips from the concert on Instagram. And then Instagram does what Instagram does best. And Instagram sent me straight down the Metallica rabbit hole. So I started watching other Metallica clips. And I'm watching some of their older clips, like OG Metallica. And I noticed something profound about James Hetfield. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. So then I really went down the rabbit hole because, I mean, hello, former FBI, I can't not investigate what I just saw. And that's what I want to share with you today. And that is what James Hetfield taught me about weight loss and emotional eating. James Hetfield of early Metallica years and James Hetfield of current day, they are two totally different men. If you watch any of the clips of early Hetfield when he's in his 20s and 30s, it's almost like watching someone possessed. He was angry and explosive, and he was just full of rage. His eyes are just wild. I mean, actually, his eyes are empty, kind of sad. And his voice was loud, but it's like, it was this loud of anger. Like he's trying to scream the pain out of his body. But he just kept singing louder and louder. And the louder he sang, the more hollow it actually sounded because the pain wasn't coming out. I mean, he was literally performing his anger, which is a complete contrast to James Hetfield of today. If you watch any of his videos or any of his shows, I mean, his face, it actually glows. His eyes sparkle. He is singing with his actual voice. I mean, he's calm and he's centered, and there's this just quiet power about him. And he's not performing. I mean, he's on stage in front of thousands of fans, but he's not performing. He is just completely present on stage. And man, this dude, he's like 63 years old now. So the obvious question is why? Why was James like that back then? And then what happened to get him to experience his midlife glow up? Well, when James was 13 years old, his dad left him and his mom, and just gone, just disappeared, just left. And then 3 years later, his mom died of cancer. So at the age of 16, he's basically orphaned. And then he was raised by an older half-brother. So what happened next? Everything you can expect. The drinking, the drugs, just the pure chaos of being a teenager in that position. And honestly, the man who was on those early Metallica stages, watching him perform, he wasn't even there. He was just performing through this armor. He was performing through this mask of rage. And that's when it hit me. I've seen that exact same mask before, but not on stage, not with a guitar, and not with rage, but in my coaching sessions with high-achieving, successful women. They're the ones who have it all together. They've risen to the top of their career. They've got this great family, but emotionally, they're just performing. They're trying to protect something, and they are screaming inside. And what do? They eat, and they eat in secret, and they feel out of control around food, and then they hate themselves for it. They feel this overwhelming shame, and then they just hate themselves. But they don't understand what they're doing because they think that it's from a lack of willpower or that they're a failure because the diet didn't work. But the truth is, it is literally survival. And I look at the women who I coach either inside of the Break Emotional Eating Accelerator or in private coaching. And I am in awe at their strength, at how they hold it together. Close to 100% of them have had something pretty significant happen in childhood. And despite that, and maybe because of that, they learn to be the good girl. They learn to not rock the boat. So James Hetfield, he turned to alcohol and drugs. These women, they turned to people pleasing. And they became high achievers. They turned to success and becoming a high achiever. And these are coping mechanisms to find value, to find validation, and to find worth. And close to 100% of the women I coach have also had some pretty significant stuff happen in adulthood too. And when they share their stories and the secrets that they've been hiding for years. I mean, here they are. They've got their executive positions. They're high six-figure earners. They're top sales producers. They've raised children to be productive teenagers and young adults. And despite everything, they have not abandoned ship. They continue to show up, even when it's hard. They continue to achieve at work, and then they go home and get everything done at home. They handle their business. They take care of it because that's what they've been programmed to do. But all of this comes at a cost because the secrets and the coping mechanisms and the masks of everything is fine, it just adds to the emotional weight that these women are carrying. And the way that they deal with that emotional weight is to reach for comfort food, to numb out, to take the edge off for the Novocaine, to ease that pain, to quiet that noise inside of their head. One of the first things that women tell me when they join the Break Emotional Eating Accelerator is how alone they have felt and how refreshing it is to know that they aren't alone, that there are other women fighting similar battles. Here's the thing. You look at the woman in the office next to you, and she is crushing it in her career. And then you look at the neighbor with the big, beautiful house and the perfectly manicured lawn, and the mom who's showing up at all of her kids' games. And you look at them and you compare yourself to them. You're like, how can everyone else have it all together when I am just one big hot mess express inside? Like, what is wrong with me? There is an extremely high probability that every single one of these women has her own pain that she is hiding and masking. She has her own secrets, and she is probably using food to take the edge off. She is no different than you or me. I mean, I used to do it too. I was the one. Everything looks perfect on the outside, but, big smile. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But inside, that emotional and physical weight, it was suffocating. Because just like early James Hetfield, he's on stage and he is screaming his pain, but he couldn't get it out. Most women that you see are screaming from years of their own pain. But instead of being on stage, they always have to be on. They eat to shove the pain down instead of letting it out. And they eat more and they shove more pain down. And then they eat more and they shove more pain down. And the weight just comes on and on and on. And then you chase the diets and the calories and the points and the macros and wonder, why is nothing working? It's because emotional eating, it is not about the food. It is about protection. It is protecting you from the pain that you haven't made peace with yet. So how did James Hetfield achieve his midlife glow up? I mean, he's been in and out of rehab. He's very public about it. But if you listen to his interviews, he actually had to go back to the place where he was most scared of. That place was himself. Now, he's done the inner work. It is obvious. It is obvious that he has found that peace within. He's been sober now about 5 years. His face looks healthier. His eyes actually sparkle. I mean, you look at his video, his eyes sparkle. And his voice, honestly, it sounds better now than it did 35 years ago. It's more grounded and intentional. His voice sounds like he is fully in his body. And fun fact, he picked up beekeeping as a hobby in recent years, which I actually think is pretty cool. And you know what? I want that for you. I mean, not the stadium or the leather pants, and unless that's your vibe, then go rock on, my friend. And not performing in front of thousands of screaming fans. But that actual grounding and presence as you enter both of those arenas of everyday life, your work life arena and your home life arena. It's the ability to sit at your metaphorical stage and not perform for anyone. You're not performing for your spouse or your kids or your boss. And you are not performing to mask your past. You are living in your own light. And for the first time, without the monsters screaming for attention, you are living in your own light for the first time, where you're not stuffing your feelings down with comfort food. You are the most magnetic and confident woman you have ever met. You have this freedom about you that you can't put words to. And you are no longer chained to food to calm your emotions. The women who I work with, they don't even recognize that they are just bracing themselves 24/7 because it's so normal for them that this is all that they know. And they also don't know that the woman who they desire to be, the woman who they have this image of this woman in their head of who they desire to be and who they want to be. It's actually you, and it's actually inside of you, and it's always been inside of you from day one. It's not something you chase. It's who you are. And you see, the nutritionists and the dietitians, they want to keep you focused on the calories and the diets and the scale. They want you to add things onto your schedule to do, like meal plans and weighing food and counting your calories and tracking points. They tell you, oh, just keep a handful of almonds in your purse, or chew gum, or eat the Oreo because you're in a calorie deficit, or just eat the apple when you're hungry. They want you in this constant state of doing. And I mean, let's be honest. Do you actually have time in your day for more things to do? And let's be even more honest. When your body is screaming for food and your brain is giving you no other options on the table, do those 5 almonds in your purse really take the edge off? But if you want to find her again, or maybe for the first time, it's not about adding more things to your to-do list. It's about peeling back the layers of that emotional weight. It's about listening to yourself. It's about trusting yourself again. It's about feeling safe in your body. And it's not just peace with food. It's coming home to yourself. It's staring in the mirror and actually recognizing the woman who's staring back. And not for how much she weighs, but for how powerful she finally feels. Then and only then will the emotional eating stop. And the emotional weight and the physical weight is going to start to fall off. And it's going to be effortless. And it's going to be sustainable. Okay, let me ask you this. Are you still performing for the world while punishing the part of you that's hurting? Are you stuffing your pain down with snacks because it feels safer than actually feeling it? And are you trying to fix that part of you that's already done everything she could to survive? And if you answered yes to even one of those questions, I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen closely to me. You are not broken. You do not need to fix anything about you. The endless snacking and the food noise, none of that is the problem. All they are clues. They're just clues. They're clues to show you where to start. And it's not with another diet, and it's not with worrying about the scale. It's starting with the patterns and the protection. It's starting with releasing the pain that you never asked for, but you are still carrying. And once you see that, that's when your midlife glow up starts, just like James Hetfield. But it's not going to happen overnight. And inside the Break Emotional Eating Accelerator, you're not going to find another diet or some lame advice like, oh, just eat an apple when you're hungry. You're actually going to find clarity. You're going to find relief. And in just 10 days, you are going to finally feel like the woman behind the mask is waking up. That emotional weight is just as real and just as heavy as the physical weight. And it's time to stop dragging both around. And if you're nodding your head right now, if your gut just said, oh, holy crap, I'm feeling this, that's me. Your next step is simple. It's release. It's freedom. It's power. It's confidence. That rock star in you, she is ready. She is warmed up and she is ready to go. But first, we've got to bring the rebel back home to herself. It took 60 years for James Hetfield to find his true voice. And you're about to find yours. And when you do, your world is going to feel that electric vibration like a stadium shaking under 66,000 fans jumping up and down in unison to your anthem. My friend, it is always an honor to have you stay with me until the end of the episode. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. And thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.